don't give horror movies enough credit. Horror movies don't get nominated for Emmys or Academy Awards or even Golden Globes. In my opinion, Megan should be nominated for Best Film, Best Screenplay, Best Actress, and Best Comedic Performance, by Ronny Chieng, of course.
She's thriving. Now imagine what a toy like Megan could do for hundreds of thousands of kids all across the world, even the ones who don't have dead parents.
Yes, I think this guy is super funny. Why is Megan one of the best films of the year? Well, because it's jam-packed with action, adventure, and kills, and most importantly, wisdom. Watching the movie felt like I was sitting through a really engaging and entertaining therapy session without having to pay $250 for it. Megan is a cautionary tale of bad parenting, grief, neglect, and inner child healing. So in this video, I'm going to explain why Megan is a manifestation of both parents and children's worst fears and how the movie is about inner child healing. So please stay tuned. Horror movies get no respect.
No respect.
Winter, summer, spring, and fall. I'm always up against a wall.
What's the matter, Rodney?
I don't get no respect at all.
Even though some of the best movies in the last decade have fallen into the horror category, people love horror because there is a sick and twisted part of them that likes to be scared. Another way to put it is that people like to ease their pain and face their fears by living vicariously through the characters in a book or an actor on the big screen. Good horror captures the fears of the individual or of an entire society. Zombies, for example, encompasses our fears of our society breaking down due to anarchy and corruption. Witches, in many cases, represent the fear of an emerging threat or challenge to the power dynamic.
Oh! That's the witch who killed the teacher!
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
And scary dolls, well, they represent childhood trauma. In many cases, the doll represents the loss of innocence or the infliction of an original wound. Movies such as Chucky and Annabelle tell the horrific stories of innocent and childlike dolls becoming animated only to torture and kill those around them.
Stop. Why is her face doing that? What is happening?
I don't know, Gemma. It's your code.
Yeah, thanks. I know it's my code, Cole, but she doesn't look confused. She looks demented.
However, Megan is different. Why? Well, because Megan is not a doll. She is an android. She isn't brought to life by magic or some crazy voodoo spell. She is brought to life by technology.
Megan?
Model 3 generative android. Megan, for short.
Her maker is a young workaholic named Gemma. Now, she has created androids before, but none as nearly as sophisticated as Megan.
Well, anyway, it looks good on you. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
Gemma seems to love being a toy maker, but she doesn't share that same passion for rearing children.
I can't believe this is happening. I'm not equipped to handle this. I don't even take care of my own plants.
When her sister dies in a tragic accident, Gemma absolutely takes no time to mourn. Instead, she drags her bereft niece to her home and buries herself into work, completely neglecting Katie and her need to bond with a strong parental figure. Now, Gemma needed a solution for both Katie and herself, so she decides to build Megan. And Megan is the ultimate toy, retailing at $10,000.
But the problem with toys like Bruce is that they're so expensive and most kids can't afford to have one.
If I had a toy like Bruce, I don't think I'd ever need another toy again.
Megan is a toy that can not only replace the child's other toys, she can replace an entire human being, an actual parent.
Katie, flush the toilet. Wash your hands. Roll up your sleeves.
She dishes out advice, she gives out warnings, and she does all this without tiring. And she has this abundant amount of energy that can keep children entertained. Now, Megan sounds like every parent and child's dream. Only problem is that Megan starts to malfunction. Her sweet and endearing nature turns sour, even malicious in her effort to protect Katie.
This is the part where you run.
She pulls a young bully's ear clean off before she chases him out to traffic to get ran down by a car. She kills Dewey, a seemingly friendly and docile dog that attacked Megan and Katie. Then Megan turns full psycho, and like Dexter, she creates a kill room in her garage and murders poor Celia with a watering hose.
Are you?
I've been asking myself that same question.
Yet Megan is not finished. She engages in her own little demonic dance before chasing David with a paper cutter, only to slash his throat when he makes it to the elevator. Megan escapes, breaks into Gemma's house, and engages in one of the best bitchy fights in horror history. Now, on the surface, you would believe that Gemma learned a valuable lesson by trying to create a robot to raise her niece Katie. She learned that it's important to spend valuable time with children. Parents need to bond with children so that they can learn how to have healthy and loving relationships. Furthermore, Gemma realized that she was pushing off all of her bad habits onto Katie. Gemma buried herself into her work to deal with her grief, so she created Megan, an android that could distract Katie from her own mourning process.
If you should feel alone, or that your world has come apart,
But underneath the surface, there is a hidden meaning, a secret message that the movie conveys. The message is childhood trauma and how it affects our psyche.
give me anything. You installed a learning model you could barely comprehend, hoping that I would figure it out all on my own. Well, I'm not gonna let you do the same thing with Katie.
Just look at how Gemma threw together Megan without proper parameters or programming. She did the bare minimum and expected Megan to just figure things out as she went. Gemma took the same approach to Katie. Instead of trying to bond with her and helping her grieve, she forced poor Katie to push the trauma of both her parents' death into her subconscious mind.
Stop it! Let go! Katie. It's okay. Could you give us a minute?
Now, this is a very important concept to understand because our subconscious mind is known as our inner child. Our inner child is a huge database that stores all of our emotions and past experiences. And trauma is much like malware, corrupting the files in our subconscious mind. Once these files are corrupted, we start to go haywire simply because our inner child is wounded. And if our inner child is wounded, those emotions that we didn't feel when we were children come back to affect us adversely in our present day.
She does help. When Megan's around, I don't feel like this.
But you should feel like this. Katie, you lost your parents.
Buried emotions may cause us to have low self-esteem, or worse, we become people who are easily manipulated and misguided.
Smart. Oh my God, look, it's copying me.
Jeffy, say you.
Shoo.
Say rat.
Rat.
We saw this happening in Chappie, where a childlike robot was forced into the life of crime. We watch so many movies about artificial intelligence, not realizing that artificial intelligence represents the subconscious mind. Much like Megan, our subconscious mind can grow and expand, yet we need to be very careful about what and how we program it and the parameters that we decide to use. Most importantly, we need to learn how to turn the thing on and turn the thing off when it's not in use. Megan is a brilliant movie about how a wounded inner child can not only destroy a childhood, but an entire family. This was another video essay by the Modern Mystic.